on East Coast, but I'm up. I literally just walked in the door and I was like, oh, you know what? I feel like going live and talking about narcissists because June 1st was Narcissistic Abuse Awareness Day. And this used to be an all narcissistic abuse channel. And I know narcissism like the back of my hand. So I was like, oh, let me get on live and see like who's on here. Hope all is well. Happy full moon. I'm gonna see who comes on, who's up this late, and who has any questions about covert narcs. Because I really want to talk about covert narcs because to me, covert narcs are the most dangerous. I don't mind the overt narcissists because you know from the front door who they are. But the covert narcs, those are going to be the worst experiences that you experience in your life. So I'm going to wait a little bit to see who comes in the chat. If you come in the chat, click like for me, comment at me, let me know you're going to stay and talk to me. I'm going to put my information in the chat. Let me see who's here. I'm just waiting a little bit longer to see who comes in the chat. I wanted to be talking to myself. Let me make sure that the volume is up. All right, it's up. Oh my goodness. Let me see. Let me go to live. Go to my live on I'm just on my laptop right now. I went to go eat some Indian food by myself. I just need to get out the house. Shouldn't be spending no money, but I had a craving for Indian food, so I went to go get some Indian food. It was okay. It was all right. I had like Indian curry chicken with garlic naan and white rice. It was good, but it wasn't the best, pretty much. I'm gonna put my information in the chat. I always take donations during my live, so all the information will be in the comment section. Let me see, Zelle, PayPal. I was on live last night, so make sure you go watch that 3-hour live that I did last night. It's pretty entertaining. I actually watched it today. What's this back? Okay. So covert narcs love empaths. They love empaths. They love chosen ones. They're sent in our life to throw us off. Make sure you click like for me when you come in the chat. I'm trying to wait for a few more people to come in the chat before I start talking to myself. I know it's pretty late. It's about 12 something, I think, in the morning, midnight, after midnight. Here in New York, I'm in New York City. Excuse me. All right. I don't know if anybody's going to come in the chat, but I'll talk until more people come in the chat, or you could just watch the playback of this live pretty much. So narcissists love chosen ones, love empaths, and if you keep attracting narcissists, it's mainly because you were either raised by them or you were abused in your home when you were a child. and you're used to the energy. So for many, many years, after you leave the narcissistic parents, you start to, grow up, you're living on your own, and now all your friends are narcissists, and you're going like, what the hell is this, and you never understand why. When you leave the narcissistic home, you're like, oh yes, I got away from them. No, because your narcissistic parent or parents or guardians, they trained you, they groomed you. So now, because you're used to that energy, you're energetically and spiritually, you're kind of like a magnet to narcissists. So it's not only the narcissist is addicted to you, you are addicted to the narcissist as well. And it's so funny, I've watched myself, where one time I met a guy in a club, right? Hi, what is that, Boss Nova? Um, I was at a club and I saw this guy from behind, right? And this is very scary. I saw this guy from behind. I didn't know what he looked like. I was like, oh, I want to see his face because I don't know if he was ugly, but I like the way he looked. He was in the club, but he was dressed. All his friends had on jeans and sneakers, but he had on nice shoes, slacks, a nice sweater. I was like, oh, who is that? And I guess I was staring so hard, his friends let him know that I was staring. So he kind of kept, he like was like, oh, okay, she's looking at me, cool. So he kept walking back and forth. And then I looked and he looked at me and he walked over to me and he was just like, hey, all charismatic and all that is smooth. I guess me and you need to talk. And I said, okay, let's talk. And this guy ended up being a narcissist. This is what's crazy. Technically, I picked him and I saw him from behind. So there had to be some type of energy that he had. And the reason why we fall for these characters, and he was a covert narc, the reason why we fall for these characters is the energy. We're used to that energy. And a lot of narcissists, even though it's a false confidence, we are attracted. Who doesn't like a confident person? It's a false confidence. It's a fake mask that they built. And that's what we fall for. Nobody wants a man. A woman doesn't want a man or whatever, whoever you're dating. You don't want a person who's insecure, right? So these covert narcs, they built up this perfect mask. And when I meet covert narcs, they usually come off very intellectual. A lot of them seem, very educated, they might come off sometimes nerdy. They're the unexpected. I call them penny loafer narcs, right? Because they're usually not flashy. They're not the ones that are like, going to stand out in the crowd. They're kind of like, oh, he's quiet, I want to talk to him. Or she seems like a little nerdy, or she seems sophisticated, or she seems submissive. No, BS. They're not. They're little demons, okay? And you fall for that. A lot of them don't appear to have that much confidence, and this is why they feel so safe, because they feel intellectual, they feel educated. They just feel safe. Like every covert narc that I was friends with or dated, it was almost as if they didn't seem harmful. They didn't seem flashy, trying to be seen everywhere. Covert knocks remind me, I don't know if y'all have where y'all live, but Lifetime, the television, the channel, they're like in the Lifetime movie where everyone, like this person, like this woman comes to town, she's hot, she's helping everyone, she's friendly, but the character in another character in the movie or the show, she's like, no, there's something about this person. Everyone's like, no, Melissa seems so nice. You're bugging, you're tripping. But then that character that she tried to warn everybody about, Melissa, ends up being the killer, and she's like killing everybody. That's the covert narc. You never see it coming. Everyone likes them. They're charming. They seem sweet. They seem educated. They seem safe. People say, oh, it's like the one that throws a stone and puts their hands behind their back and and you're going, who threw that stone at me? That's the covert narc. All right. Click like in the chat for me, guys. Why do romantic partners always become jealous of the chosen one? Well, this live is not really about chosen ones right now. It's about narcissists, covert narcs. But the reason why, I'll answer that though, Luke. The reason why partners become jealous of chosen ones. Okay, so chosen ones have a high spiritual calling on the planet. All right. So imagine if you don't have a high spiritual calling, right? It's not that other people come in the planet. Well, let's just keep it real. I hate when people's like, oh, everybody, has a purpose. Some people's purpose is nothingness. Okay. Some people's purpose is to be evil on this planet. There's dark angels, there's light angels, there's all different types of individuals. Okay. So there's some people who have higher callings. There's going to be some people, some chosen ones who might have to die, for a greater cause. There's going to be some chosen ones who have to be a leader. Then there's going to be some chosen ones who work behind the scenes or who work in politics, who work in the church. So there's all different types of chosen ones. But imagine you don't have a higher calling on your life, and then you start dating a chosen one, right? And you're like noticing something different. This is what happens. They notice something different about us. We don't see it because as a chosen one, we always feel like everyone's against me. I have a hard life and nothing's going right for me. But they see how God reacts to you. They see how nature reacts to you. They see how everybody looks up to you. They notice that their life is better when they're with you. They notice that people look up to you. They notice that when you speak, people listen. People come around me and they're like, oh, she seems cool. But then they realize, oh, hold on. People listen to her. No one listens to me like that. Like when I told a friend, I was just like, oh, I'm at 40K on TikTok. You mean 400 people, right? Now it's like 40,000. She was like, you have 40,000 followers on TikTok? You see, these people don't understand that energy because they don't have that energy. A lot of the people that we attract, they're low vibrational. They want to be around us because we have this healing energy. They want to be around us because they can feel that magnetizing, radiating type of energy that we have. So imagine you're in a romantic relationship with that person that, your partner can have the degrees, your partner can have all the money, but they don't got that spiritual juice, that spiritual pull. So they become jealous because they feel they cannot match us. And this is why a lot of them, they'll try to water us down. Like, you're not all that. And we're like, huh? I never said I was all that. Or I didn't say I was high above people. They feel that we are above them. And that's the reason why they become jealous. They notice the way the world, the way nature, the way the universe reacts to us. So they get uncomfortable. Instead of going, damn, I get to be with a chosen one. Damn, they don't do that. They're like, nah, she thinks she all that. He think he all of that because they got spiritual power. Look, it don't matter. They can have all the money, all the success, all the attention, but you can't buy spiritual power. You can't buy a closer connection to the universe. You can't buy a closer relationship or God's favoritism. And they see this. And this is why they compete with you, not realizing you can't compete spiritually. So they fake and they try to sabotage us. And that's how the relationships crumble. So it takes a very strong person spiritually who is going to respect your spiritual authority in order to be with you. Okay. What'd you say? Oh, James, you retracted your message. Luke said, after my awakening, I'd rather become celibate and prayer for a long time, forever blessings. You know what? Sometimes it is safer to be celibate. I get it, because a chosen one can't just love anybody or date anybody. You have to be very careful, and we take on a lot of negative energy. You know, you don't have to be a chosen one, but anybody who has a high vibrational energy, you can't just sleep with anybody. You're gonna get your light drained. You know, you can't be around just anyone. All right. Click like on the chat for me, guys, when you come in. But yeah, going back to the narcissists, these covert narcs, I feel chosen ones and empaths fall for these types because they're like, oh, you know, I have somebody who I can relate to. You know, this person seems chill, not knowing that most covert narcs, or narcs in general, they're faking spirituality. They're faking religion. They're fake Christians, or they're fake spiritualists or Muslims, whatever. They're faking being you, right? And the more they hang around you and the more they get to know you, the more they start to hate you, right? It's really weird because these covert narcs, they come around you and they want to mimic. They only befriend you and date you just to mimic, just to, they're shadow watching. Like you're almost like training them, but you don't even know that you're sitting there trying to build or authentic relationship or friendship with these covert narcs. But really, they're just shadow boxing you. They're like, let me see. They steal your lingo. I have caught so many covert narcs using my terms, you know, just befriending me, getting close to me, watching my videos online, and I go watch their videos and they're repeating the same lingo that I use, the same terms. They try to talk about the same things. There's even some covert narcs, they'll start to mimic your look. That's when they're really down the rabbit hole, when they start to mimic your look. And they do, and it's so, the covert narc, they do it in steps. It's very slow. Where I feel like the overt narc is like 1, 2, 3. The covert, it's like they start doing it in steps to the point where you almost don't catch it, because by that time you feel like you're close to them. You feel like you can trust them, you know? And it's just like, who the hell is this person? And slowly they're becoming you. Like when I tracked covert narc women, it's a lot of love bombing in the beginning. All right. So whenever you meet a narcissist, guys, doesn't matter if they're overt or covert, there's going to be a lot of love bombing. And this is why you have to watch people. Okay. They'll start off like overkilling with the compliments, right? And you always know when you're dealing with a narcissist, because the conversation doesn't feel like a normal conversation. It feels almost like an interview. What do you think about this? What do you think about that? What about this? And what about, you like, whoa, what is this? Every time I talk to a narcissist, that's what it is. It's never a normal dialogue. It's them literally trying to figure out how you move in life, what you're doing, who you associate with, how you do things. Oh, what do you do during the day? What do you eat? Where do you buy that? It's almost like they're writing down notes. It's not a normal conversation. And even when they try to pretend like they know what the hell you're talking about, they can't back it up. This is why when people tell you that they're about something, you need to ask follow-up questions, because they can't do no PowerPoint on the shit they be talking about. They be lying, guys. They only know a certain amount of information. Okay, that's how I always catch narcs, and that's why narcs run from me now, because they'll be talking about something, they'll be talking about a particular subject, and I just let them yap yap, yap, yap. And then I go, oh, really? So explain about that more. And you could just hear them. They'll switch over. You're talking about oranges, and the next thing you know, you ask a question, and they'll be like, "Oh yeah," and then apples. No, no, no. I go, no, no, no. Let's bring the conversation back to the oranges. I said X, Y, Z, and they'll literally try to shift it, and you could see when you're even in front of them, you can see their anxiety racing, their nerves racing. They'll even say, "Oh, what are you trying to call me, stupid?" You know, because they know they cannot back up whatever they're saying they represent, they can't back it up. Also, look at their life, like the term in the Bible, you'll know them by their fruits. You'll be talking to them and you're just talking, you're expressing things that you're going through, and they'll be like, oh, don't you think you should be doing this? Don't you think you should be doing that? Oh no, what? You're doing that? You're doing this? But their life is a mess. Most of their lives are a mess. Okay. And if you listen to them, they're doing worse than you. Okay. They're doing worse than you. Their mental's going down. They don't have as much friends as you think they do. Okay. Pay attention to that. Click like for me when you come in the chat. So that's the first thing that I noticed. The love bombing in the beginning, overly complimenting you. That's not healthy and that's not real. Their life doesn't represent what they say they are, right? Overly judging you, like unnecessarily. You could be like, oh yeah, I wore a pink shirt. You really shouldn't be wearing pink. You heard about pink, right? The conversations when you first meet them, it's almost like they're interviewing you. You never feel like it's a warm building with them, right? And if you're not smart, you'll overshare. A lot of empaths, chosen ones, spiritual people, you go so long without making a connection that you're going to open up to these narcs and you're going to tell them too much. And whatever you tell them, it could be trauma. You could say, hey, I got abused as a child. Oh my gosh, I got abused too. Everything is a mirror with them. Everything is, oh my gosh, I got molested. You got molested too? I did too. And it's almost like, and not that you can prove a lot of the things that happened to you in your childhood, these people, it never adds up. Like I've met covert narcs who said, I got molested too. And the person they said that molested them, they're like this with them. And I'm going, huh? This is weird. And I'm not saying that some people didn't forgive their abuser, or some people didn't, make amends with their abuser, or maybe they still live with their abuser. But every narc that I've met that said this particular family member molested them, abused them, they're like this with them. These people are so sick that they will pick a person out of their family and say that person abused them. And I bet you the person didn't even abuse them. That's how sick they are. I don't speak to my abuser, the person who sexually harmed me when I was a child. I know some of you do, some of you that happened with your parents and stuff like that. But I just find that very interesting. I've gone over their houses for events and they're talking to their abuser. They're not even showing that they don't deal with them. They're just like all in their face, hugging them, talking to them. I'm like, this is weird. Something's not right. Okay. That's the covert narc. Nothing about their life will make sense to you. They will go that far and lie about trauma just to feel like they have some type of connection to you. All right. They lie. Some of them were not even really abused. Did you know that some covert narcs or narcissists in general, not all of them had narcissistic parents. Some of them actually had loving parents. That's what's crazy about it. But the reason why a lot of them came out that way is because their parents did not discipline them. Their parents spoiled them. I have been friends with a couple of covert narcs where they were abusive to their parents. Oh my gosh. I used to be friends with this one girl who was a covert narc who was abusive to her grandmother, to the point that the city had to get involved. The government had to get involved and take her grandmother out the apartment and put her in a nursing home. Her grandma had dementia and almost burned the apartment down, and the government had to get involved and basically take her out of her granddaughter's care. And the woman was like 80 something years old. She'll be cursing at the grandmother. Give me effing money right now, bitch. Like, what? Are you kidding me? So don't think all of these individuals came from some like broken home. No. If you are a parent, I'm telling you right now, you don't want to raise a psychopath. You cannot spoil your children. And I know a lot of us grew up without having, materialistic things, or we feel we weren't loved properly, so we overlove the child. Don't do that. It is abusive to not teach your child right from wrong. You're literally raising psychopaths when you do that. I just watched a crime case. The boy, he definitely had mental illness, and they didn't follow up and make him get meds, right? So they were paying for his college tuition, his apartment, all his food, all his clothes, his car. His mother, even after retirement, got another job just to support him. What? Are you freaking kidding me? And the boy was in his late 20s. And you know what he did? He killed his parents and chopped them up. I'm telling you, you don't want to become soup in a pot. He put his parents in a pot and boiled them. I know it's very disgusting, graphic. Do not spoil your kids. You must teach your kids right from wrong. I had a narc ex-best friend, same thing. He had an amazing father. His mother was a narcissist, and when the parents got divorced, the court gave his father the children because he was a better parent, and his mom went off and slutted around and had more kids and didn't raise him, and he was the youngest. So he hated his mother for being a whore, narcissistic whore, pretty much. And then he mistreated his father, loving father, bought him a car, his dad was a government agent, got him hooked up in a good job, had all the flyest clothes, all the love, all the attention, and would treat his father like crap. Because you have to train your children. Okay? You have to. Even think about it. Even little babies test you. Even babies, 6 months old will test you. A year old will test you. You have to I'm not a parent yet, but boy, when I become a mother, you have to, or your children will turn against you. You said, is it a narcissistic trait when you have a friend that always tries to copy you or one up you? I would say yes. Either that person is highly insecure, or they are narcissistic. Definitely. That person, first of all, anybody that has to steal someone's identity and copy you, they're either very insecure or they're narcissists. Okay. How you know the difference is that there's some people who are they're lame. Okay. They're lame. They don't love themselves. They don't want to go to therapy. They don't want to work on their healing. They don't want to find out what their identity, what they like in life, and they don't want to do the work. They're lazy. So instead, they befriend you. They like your style. They like your personality. And they literally like, I'll just copy theirs. I don't like the package that I got. So I guess I'll just copy theirs because they're seen cooler, right? But the thing about that, it doesn't work. Like I can give you the recipe, but your shit still gonna come out tasting nasty because it ain't me. It ain't my hand that turned the spoon in the pot. You get it? Like all of our soul contracts are specifically for us. So when somebody is copying you, they're doing a disservice to their soul. So you came on this planet and now you want to copy somebody else's soul contract? What? That's lame. That's a cornball. That's lame. Get it together. So if you're doing that, guys, don't do that. Work on yourself because you're unique. We're all unique. Okay. How you know if they are narcissists is that they literally steal your identity. They'll steal your identity, but they're gonna follow up with other narcissistic traits and trying to sabotage you in the process. They literally, it's like they're gonna be telling you like, yeah, I jacked your swag, I jacked your identity, and now I'm going to sabotage you. So the narcissist will literally steal your identity and then try to sabotage you. But I've had some covert narcs steal my lifestyle. Excuse me, steal my lifestyle. Steal my lifestyle, but it didn't try to sabotage me. I had that before, happened to me as well. Let me see. So wait, hold on. This year, I decided to distance myself from her because I noticed these traits in my friend. It's to the point she now works at the same job as me. Oh, hell no. And she started school, and I find it weird. That she's always keeps asking me if I'm going back to school. Yeah, so yeah, she's following you. It's like a robot. Remember those My Buddy dolls? I'm showing my age, okay? I was born in the 80s. Remember those My Buddy dolls? My buddy, wherever I go, you follow whatever my buddy, right? And the doll, like you had the same outfit as a My Buddy. She's your My Buddy doll. So if this person is following you, they literally will call you or text you and be like, hey, what are you up to? Right? Anything you do, they feel they have to do. So that's why she's going to ask you what you're doing next. Throw her off for a loop. Don't tell her what you're going to do. Be like, oh, I'm changing majors. Oh, yeah, I'm going to cut all my hair off. I'm telling you, I had a couple of friends do that to me. I remember I said, I'm not a fan of my teeth. And I had found a place in Mexico. So one day in the future, I'm going to get my teeth done in Mexico. I want veneers, right? So I told this friend who always copies me, I'm like, oh, I found a place, in Mexico that does, veneers for $3,000. She was like, where are you going to get the money from for that? When are you going to get your teeth done? When? Like, can you tell me like when you're going to get them done? I'm like, girl, are you okay? Because these people are so sick. They follow everything that you're doing. She's in her head like, gosh, now I got to come up with $3,000 to get my teeth done. If she's getting her teeth done, I gotta get my teeth done. Like I lost 70 pounds because I had weight loss surgery last year. Now she's like, oh, I lost 50 pounds. I'm like, oh, okay, that's what's up. Good for you. That's nice, And then she mentioned to me the other day, she was like, oh, that wig that you had, I love that wig. And then I scrolled down Instagram and she bought the same exact wig. And I was like, oh, you got the same wig as me. You know what she put in the text? Because she knows that I'm peeping what she's doing. Every time I buy a new wig, she go get the same wig. Do you know how creepy that is? And it's not, and some people be like, oh, come on, it's just a wig. But imagine every hairstyle, every outfit, everything that you're doing in your life, you have a friend that's mimicking you. No, that's weird. That's creepy. What kind of freaking Lifetime movie is that? Hey, Vanessa. My buddy, wherever I go, he's gonna go. There you go. Thank you for correcting me. Let's see. Kid sister. Those dolls kind of creeped me out back then. They were cute, but they creeped me out. Okay, let's see. I post on WhatsApp and it's almost like she's trying to throw words. The funny thing is I hide myself so she can't see that you're on WhatsApp status. Smart. So she notices that and she's been posting and she doesn't see me watching. So she called me today acting like she was trying. Yeah, Yo, they're watching you. Narcissists watch you, or your biggest fans, they watch you on social media, because you gotta understand this. No matter how, intellectual you are, you know, you have to think about it. When you're texting on social media, that signal is going straight from your head down to your phone, to your hands, right? It doesn't, like, you're not really going through like a process, right? So a lot of people, it's hard for them to hide their personality or inner thoughts while they're texting or posting on social media. A lot of times I post things on social media, it could be something I went through 10 years ago. I might even be talking about something that just happened, or I show my personality. I have a very weird personality, right? So people would see these posts and they're thinking, oh, I'm going through something, or something happened, or I'm miserable. It's not even that. But the narc is watching you, and they're watching this, and they're like, oh, wow, yeah, good. Something's going on with her or him, and good. So sometimes just post miserable things, have them thinking that you're miserable, but pop up happy, pop up successful, though you can even, like, I've even posted things to even confirm that narcissists are watching me. And I'll post something like, I'll be like, oh, mad people are fake, or people are weirdos. And like 5 minutes later, that particular narc will text me. Why would you text me after I post that? Because they know they're fake. They know they're weirdos. The narcs always telling themselves, I'm telling you, it's just that you don't want to believe the red flags sometimes. You don't want to believe that people that we invested in emotionally or financially, physically, that they're that fake, that we got fooled by this fake person. I knew she was only calling me because she didn't see. Okay, I read that already. So that's really that's why they watch everything you're doing. Another way to tell the covert narc, I actually just cut off. I believe she's a covert narc. Oh, big thing. Okay. Covert narcs, they're very slick with their tongue. All right. They're big time haters. I'm talking big time haters. They're worse than the overts, okay? They're big time haters. So coverts love using projection, right? They love to project on you. That's like one of their favorite things to do. You said what? When she when she called, I answered, and I made sure to sound happy and bubbly when I knew she wanted to hear the disappointment. Oh yeah. Oh, I'm gonna get to that too. Um, so the coverts, they are watching your every move because they want you to be miserable. All right. So if you're doing miserably, if you're not happy, then they're like, all right, I'm buying myself some time. So, they're miserable. So I'm good. I don't have to elevate right now. But that's what they'll do. If you're making more money, then all of a sudden they're gonna be like, oh yeah, I just got a promotion at work, or I'm leveling up. It's like a good thing and a bad thing, because we make them level up. We make them become better people, okay? Because they feel that they're always in competition with us. So technically they're watching you. Oh, let me tell you this creepy thing that happened to me. So this covert narc, I didn't even know he was a narc, right? Because, and that's another thing, covert narcissism, it can lay dormant for years. You could be cool with someone for years and not realize, because they're a covert narc, you don't even realize that they are narcissists. Oh yes. I do take donations during my live. I see some new faces up in here. I do take donations during my live, or you can donate afterwards. The information's in the chat, but I'm also going to put it here again. You can also put donations on the chat as well. What's my thing? Yeah. is this? My supporters, my old heads, they already know. They always give me donations during my live. They know I don't work for free on my channel. I see new faces in here. I know y'all don't know, but hit me with the financial blessings. Thank you. Let me see. What did you say? I guess I'm not the only one stuck at home on a Saturday night. I guess people are. I went out tonight. I went and had some Indian food by myself. I live in New York City and I got home like around midnight. But it's a full moon, so I don't think it's like really safe to be out during a full moon in New York. Pretty much. And I knew she was just being shady. Facts, because I'm naturally a bubbly person. Every time I would be myself, she would come out of nowhere and say, "You're always talking to someone and you don't know." Yeah, they hate that. They don't like that. So the covert narc, they'll like try to break down your personality. They're gonna shade you every time. They use projection. That's like their biggest weapon. And projection pisses me off. All right. So they hate themselves. They hate their whack ass personality. And a lot of them actually don't have a bad personality. Some covert narcs, they are right. They cool, or some of them could even be funny, or some of them could really be, have something going on with them, but they hate themselves too much to take that and run with it instead of trying to be us, or trying to sabotage us. But they admire you, and that's the reason why they feel like you have the qualities that they wish they had in themselves. So instead of like becoming that for real, doing the healing work and becoming that, instead they want to sabotage you. That's really what it is. But I'll tell you about this covert narc dude I was friends with. So I didn't realize this guy was a covert narc, but I knew something was off with him, because if you pay attention to the eyes of a narcissist, you can see something's off with them. They have it's a distinct look in their eyes. It's almost like a deadness is in their eyes. And most narcissists, there's a deadness in their eyes or a sadness in their eyes. And he lives in another state. He lives in Texas, right? I live in New York. So we weren't seeing each other in person. And that's how a lot of covert narcs will be under detected. If you don't hang out with them all the time, if they don't live in the same city, state, country, you might not pick it up at first. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of them, they'll just get close to you just to copy you. They're not going to try to sabotage you. They just want to watch you, listen to you, converse with you. And it's almost like they're computing all the information that you give them about yourself. And it's like, oh, okay, I'm going to become this person. Very spooky. And this scared me when I finally figured it out, because I never thought a man would copy me, right? So I met this guy on Facebook years ago, 10 years ago. But he was like, he's about 10 years younger than me. So I was like, oh, he's cute. But I was like, I'm not going to holler at him like that because he's so young. But we stayed in touch. We talked all the time. And this is another thing. The covert narc will call you a lot. They will spend a lot of time with you because they need to compute all that information to become you. So they're going to call you a lot, text you a lot, hang out with you a lot. They become possessive over you. They act like they don't like your other friends. They'll call you every single day, every morning, every night. They get mad if you don't let them get close to you. Oh yeah. And you never thought that would be, because they seem so mild and calm, right? But anyway, so I became friends with this dude. And through time, I was like, there's something off about him. So I went to Texas, and this was before the pandemic. I went to Texas. We hung out. We went to brunch. And I remember I went to go pay for brunch. I was like, oh, you know what? You drove to this particular part of Texas. You know, you had to pay for a toll, you had to pay for gas. So I'll buy your brunch. He was like, okay, cool, thank you. And you have to understand, no matter how masculine the male narc is, he's gonna have feminine energy. It's almost like a woman is stuck because that's the Jezebel spirit that's in these narcissistic men. You're gonna feel like it's a woman in there, and that's what I felt around him. He got muscles, he carries a weapon, and I was just like, why does he feel so feminine? And not in a gay way, but he just feels so feminine. I was like, this is weird, this is strange. And this is why you got to meet people in person, guys, because who you talk to on the phone or FaceTime or through text, it's not the same. You need to feel the energy when you're with the narc. Okay. Yes. So we end up going to one more restaurant after that. And after, we was like just chilling because it was me and it was two other people with us too. We went to another restaurant. We had some more drinks when we got there. I paid for myself. He paid for himself. And then after that restaurant, we decided to go bowling. So when we got to the bowling spot, he's just standing there and I'm like, I paid for brunch. You can at least pay for the bowling. And it was cheap. It must have been like 20 something dollars, like $25. I was like, you can at least pay for bowling. And it was just so weird that they're very like feminine. Like he didn't open my car door. He didn't open my door. He was like walking on the opposite side of me. Like I was just like, this is very strange. I never thought, and he's from the South. So I'm thinking like, oh, boys who were raised in the South, they're gentlemen. No, he was a straight up woman. Yeah, very entitled, right? So after bowling, we decided to go to a park. So now we're hanging in the park. And I asked him, like, let's do a video together, right? And I do a video with him and I'm like, oh, I'm going to put it on my YouTube. He could not perform well in the video. See, a lot of these narcs, when it comes to like having to talk about something, they will not perform well because they don't have the coding for that. They only have the coding to pretend to be certain types of characters. So when you catch them on the spot and you need them to perform, you need them to speak on the spot, they can't do it. And I was so shocked. I was just like, why is he acting like that in the video? He was like, acting scared. He couldn't really speak. It's because there's nothing up there, guys. There's only a system specifically built for who they can pretend to be. They only have certain pieces of everyone's personalities that they met, pretty much. And we just spent the whole day together, right? And then, I just was like, there's something off about my friend. I can't put it together, And he wasn't like, angry or mean or being nasty to me during the day or anything. But I was just like, at the end of the night, when he finally left, he left like maybe 1 o'clock in the morning. I was just like, don't tell me this guy's a covert narc because something is off about him. Like even his eyes, like this part was like a little dark, like it was like a little black. And it just looked like he's not all there mentally. And I was just like, this is so strange. And I asked, my god sister who met him, I was like, oh, what do you think? She was like, oh, he seems so nice and he's nice and da da da. And I was just like, no, something's just not clicking. Something's not right here. Anyway, guys, my indication was right? And then he came to New York last summer, and that's when I ended our friendship. It was so weird being around him. I was just like, this guy is definitely a narcissist. He's weird. He's super feminine. So you remember when men were wearing hoochie daddy shorts, guys? Remember that last summer? It was about hoochie daddy shorts. So he came to New York and decided to wear hoochie daddy shorts. something a narcissistic man would do. So we're walking around in Harlem, New York, right? The only men that wear hoochie daddy shorts, meaning basically like poom poom shorts, okay? Like the shorts look like you're at the gym, or you look like you got on some boy shorts, okay? Just showing your thighs are all out. So we're in Harlem. The only men that wear hoochie daddy shorts in New York City are the gay men of New York. Okay. So when he walked up on me, he had a little tight t-shirt on and the hoochie daddy shorts. And I was like, I wasn't trying to be rude, because if my friend is bi or gay, that's his business, well, ex-friend. And I was like, you know what? I said to him, make sure you bring pants to New York, right? I'm trying to look out for him. Guys, women were looking at him, and it was just like, the Black women were like looking at him like, they weren't looking like, he looking good. They was looking at him like, okay, like, why he got them short ass shorts on? And the only guys that were wearing the hoochie daddy shorts in Harlem was the gay brothers, the fly gay brothers walking down 125th Street. All right. Even the old men that sit in like the square were looking like, what this brother got on them little ass shorts for? And I think he felt that energy, because the next day he had on jeans. He had on jeans. And I warned him, but that was a narc. The narc thinks they're so sexy and they're so appealing. And he thought he was going to get a whole bunch of women on his DICK who wanted him so bad. And they was looking at him like, what's this pretty girl walking with this gay dude? Like, does she know the guy she dating is gay? And I'm looking like, that ain't my man. That is not my man. I was like trying to walk like apart from him, because I don't want them thinking like, oh, I'm confused and he confused and I'm dating a gay guy. I was cracking up inside, like, and then it's like, we going into a restaurant and you got these little ass shorts on, showing your thighs and almost like your balls about to pop out. But that's the narc. They think they all that. They want attention so bad, so they're willing to do anything for attention. And I was like, yeah, he's got to be a covert narc. Guys, this dude literally stole my identity. So he had never did poetry. A lot of you don't know, but 10 years ago, I started doing poetry. Like I've been writing poetry since I was 15, but for my 30th birthday, I performed my poetry finally. And I performed poetry for a few years in my 30s. Every week, every Tuesday at a spot in Harlem called Mocha, which they closed during the pandemic. And I also published my own poetry book in 2016, and it's on Amazon. And I plan to, publish another book. He did the same thing. He took that part of my life and then he started doing poetry. And I looked at it like, oh, okay, that's pretty cool, But that's what the covert narc does, right? And I had asked him, I said, what made you do poetry? And he was like, well, I gotta keep it real with you. I was like, me? He was like, yeah, like you inspired me. Like I've never written a poem ever in my life. And when I saw that you did it and you wrote a book, I felt like I should start it too. And I was like, oh, okay, that's what's up, And then I had mentioned to him that I wanted to start making body products and selling sea moss. Guys, guess what he started doing? He took my idea and started selling sea moss and selling body butter. And when I mentioned to him, he was like, oh, I never knew you knew about sea moss. Negro, you took my damn identity. He literally took my identity. And let me tell you how the narc will discredit you. They will take your identity and your ideas, and they won't give you credit for it. So he told me, now we've been friends for 10 years and you don't know how to spell my name. So he says to me, oh, I gave you a shout out in my, oh yeah, he did a poetry book as well, guys. He did a poetry book as well. And he said to me, oh, I shouted you out in my book. You know, I thanked you. And I said, okay, that's cool. Guys, when I went to the book, I am like the 15th person on the list, and he spelled my name wrong. I texted him and said, you spelled my name wrong in your book? I did. I told my editor how to spell your name. If he was in front of me, I would have slapped the shit out of that boy. So you steal my life and you disrespect me by spelling my name wrong in your book? Okay. But yeah, he was in New York last year, and that was the last time he saw me. I unfollowed him. He still follows me. I don't talk to him. He knows not to speak to me. He knows not to cross me because he knows I don't play that. These covert narcs are sick in the head. Oh, a month after he leaves New York, I get a message on my Instagram. You know how like you can get requests, people who you don't follow or they don't follow you, they can like DM you and you can open the message, right? So I see this message that says like exposing the truth. And I'm like, who the hell is up in my, I said, this better not be no woman coming to me, you know, and it was a woman. It was a woman who came to me and said, hey, can I ask you something? Do you know so-and-so? And I'm like, yeah, I know so-and-so. We've been friends for 10 years. What's up? And she said, oh, I think this guy is a sex addict. I don't know what's wrong with him, but I went through his phone and I found like 5 women that he's sleeping with. And I just wanted to make sure that, you know, you're not dating him or you're not sleeping with him because there's something wrong with this guy. I said, come on, universe. You really answer quick. In 30 days, I got my answer. And I told her, don't worry, I'm not one of y'all. I was just a friend. And I think my friends are narcissists. You be safe. Don't go back. Block him. And God bless all you ladies. I don't know if he knows because I never confronted him about the person who contacted me. You know, whenever he would talk about women, it was always, yeah, this girl's stalking me. Yeah, you know, this girl, she's on my jock. She, you know, she wants a baby by me. They all want me. That's the narc. Everybody wants him. Everybody wants her. And I said to him, I said, you know what? I said, wait a minute. Because one time he was a coach at a junior high school. And he got fired. And, you know, he gave me some story about he got fired because he was selling he did like wings. He used to sell like hot wings and, you know, wings or whatever on the weekend. And he was selling the wings on the weekend to his students and to the students' parents. And he said that they fired him for that. But, you know, you got to listen to when people are talking. So he said that he was dating 2 women. He was dating 2 teachers at the school. So I said, that's probably why he got fired, lying about the wings. Let me tell you, them narcissists are so messy. So don't ever think like the narcissists don't see their day, because their behavior is immature. They're emotionally immature. They're freaking children, and they make horrible mistakes that catches up to them. That's why they can have a degree, they can have so much work experience, and they get fired. Next thing you know, I tell you, narcs change jobs more than me. Narcissists will change jobs. You know why? Because they quitting because they done did some shit at that job, or they getting fired because of their immaturity. And they can't stay at a place too long. But I think he really did get fired because he was sleeping with 2 women at work and it caught up to him. I'm telling you, these narcs is off the hook. But homeboy stole my personality, guys, and then misspelled my name in the book. I said, you gotta be kidding me. This mother's, ooh. I wanted to slap his face. Oh, I wanted to slap his face, guys. I'm telling you. Narcissists are empty canvases. Yes, they are. They're so empty. They don't have anything to give. Are narcs afraid of eye contact? Because with this same friend, for some reason, she can't look me in the eye, the face. Well, people who are being deceptive can't look you in the eye. They're telling a lie. And they don't want to be found out. So naturally, that's a human thing to do. And then if you have spiritual power, they don't want to look in your eye. It makes them nervous. So they just looking all over the place and they can't look you in the eye. But there's some narcs that will look you in the eye and lie to you. Especially those sociopaths. I've met some sociopaths who look me dead in my eye with a dead stare. A blank stare. Actually, they didn't even blink. Just no. Yes. I don't care. Robotic. That was my ex-narc best friend. I believe he's a sociopath. He wouldn't blink. He would look me dead in my eye, not blink, and lie to me. But if the narc is not looking at you in the eye, is because they know they're lying and they don't want to be found out. You know, but I want you to really think about it. Most narcs are horrible liars. They're horrible liars, guys. Hey, Alyssa. You say you're a YouTuber with 7K, and I hope you see this. You are a huge inspo. Oh, wow. Thank you. And congrats on your 7K. I don't think I've ever seen your channel. I'll check you out, girl. Or are you a girl? OFC? Oh, I have to check you out. Yeah, they are dangerous. Thank you for the love. Oh, of course. But yeah, they don't want to be found out. But you definitely can tell when they're lying to you. Once you know the tactics, you're good. Okay? But yeah, not all those covert narcs will come to you to just like harm you. They really just there. Sometimes some of them just are there just to steal your personality, steal information from you. And once they realize you know, they out of there. They are out of there. So the best repellent, because now I have narcs who disappear from me fast, right? You're female? Okay. I have narcs that disappear from me very fast now. And the reason why they disappear is that, okay, so when they meet you, they're running you through a series of tests. And if you fail those tests, they get a narc injury. Okay. So I recently met a narc on TikTok and YouTube, and she ran me through a series of tests. So what happens is you're not passing those tests. So the test with her was for me to latch on to her super fast, right? And they live in a lot of fear. Like you said, they do live in a lot of fear, and they're paranoid too, because they're like, damn, does she know who I am? Does he know who I am? They're always like that. They're very paranoid because they're fully aware of what they're doing. So she ran me through a series of tests of like trying to get me to open up and feel like we're besties. Like, we're not best friends. I just met you. We're not close. I just met you. And, when I see people like getting married in 30 days or being friends in 30 days, I'm like, shh, well, damn, you are brave. I would never do that. I would never marry a guy I met in 30 days because of narcissism. I would never befriend someone just in 30 days. It makes me, all narcs that I've met moved very, very fast. Very, very fast. I'm pouring some more rum punch for myself. I they move too quickly for me. Slow down, especially if you know you're prone to attract narcissists. Slow down. Don't be so happy and be like, oh my gosh, I met somebody, we're going to be best friends, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. Slow the hell down and listen to them when they're talking, because they're always going to tell on themselves. Okay, they always tell on themselves, and their life never matches their words. It never matches their words. And if you just met someone and they're already projecting onto you, they're already making it seem like you're doing so wrong in life. Why are you trying to befriend me? Why are you trying to nitpick every little detail about my life? And they're gonna make you feel very uncomfortable. They're also gonna triangulate you. That's a huge one, right? They'll triangulate you, but I feel the covert narc uses a lot of projection, a lot of projection. And projection is okay. So for me, whenever I was with around covert narcs, we have our they can't stand that you have your own identity, right? And you see me, I have a big personality. I wear makeup, I wear big hair, I'm colorful, I have a big personality, and the covert narcs, they hate that. They can't stand that. And because of the way I present myself, I always get attention, especially attention in public. And they don't like that because most of the time there's nothing radiant about the narc that makes them get the same attention you get. So a lot of times when I'm out with these covert narcs, men talk to me. I remember with this particular covert narc, she did a lot of projection, and it was because she never got acknowledged when we were hanging out. But she was kind of dusty, guys. I'm not gonna lie. She never put effort into her clothing. She never did. She never presented herself well. I always had to tell her she had boogers in her nose, crust in her eyes. And this is disgusting because, you know, you have a good job, you live in a house, you're not poor. Why are you dusty? Why every time I see you, you have dandruff on your shoulder, boogers in your nose, crust in your eyes? You're a woman, like take care of yourself. But yet her nails would be done and her hair would be done. Huh? What is that? Your hygiene's off, but you got your nails and your toes done? No, like girl, what are you doing? So it didn't matter. I guess in her head, oh, I got my nails done and my hair is done. I should get attention too. No, but your shoes is leaning. You don't wear your size, so you're making yourself look fatter than what you really are. You're not presentable. Your wig is looking dry. It looking slanted on your head. You're not gonna. That's not gonna be attractive to a man or to a woman who wants to approach you and give you a compliment. So we'll be walking down the street and men will, try to holler at me, or driving down, in their car and like, hey, miss, ooh, you look beautiful. How you doing, queen? I live in New York, so men are very boisterous here. And she would just be looking and rolling her eyes. And it's just like, instead of them advancing and investing in themselves, they hate on you. So I love Vans sneakers, and I had these Vans that were kind of like plaid, right? So because I was getting all the attention that day in the street by men, we're just standing there waiting for the bus to come. She looks down at my shoes and she goes, oh, I didn't even know what you had on your Christmas sneakers today. I said, huh? My Christmas sneakers? She was like, yeah, it's like the same print, like that plaid that they wear for the Christmas time, the PJs and like, the lumberjack look. You got on Christmas sneakers. I didn't even laugh, but I knew what that was about. She was mad that no man was checking for her all day. Nobody was complimenting. And crazy, I had on jeans, Vans, and a shirt. And I had men like, oh my God, you look so beautiful, just on my natural shit. And they get upset about that because they don't get this. They don't pull in. They don't pull in the souls like you do. They can even be more physically attracted to you, but your energy is so powerful. When you walk in the room, you're getting the attention. Okay. Because I've hung out with beautiful narcissistic women, big booty, small waist, big breasts. They walked in, we walked in together. I'm the one getting talked to because if you radiate, if you're high vibrational, you're going to get the most attention. That's just going to be another pretty baddie. That's it. She's just another bad bitch. And that's it. There's many of them out there, especially now with the surgeries and everything. That's like not even common anymore. It's like, it's common now. It's not even rare anymore. Everyone looks the same. So when they see a woman who walks in with a maxi dress or a more conservative, sexy, elegant look, it's like, oh my God, who this? Who's the god? Who's this, a goddess? What the hell's going on here? They can't handle that. They can't handle that. I lost reception real quick. They can't handle that. And, they can't handle seeing you. They swear they better than you, but you radiate that light. The narc don't got that power. The only type of power the narc has is probably sexual energy because they're sexually manipulative. And that's it. Top tier said the hate is in their soul. Yup. They try to find anything negative. Yes. She was so corny talking about you got on Christmas sneakers. Like, girl, you mad because men were still hollering at me in the street with a Christmas sneaker on? Ooh-wee. But she had on some ballerina shoes. Y'all know women know the little flats. And he was leaning, like the side of her foot hitting the ground. But she talking about my Christmas sneakers. Girl, sit your tight ass down. They don't compare to us, guys. It doesn't matter. And I'm a plus size woman. It doesn't matter. I have walked into clubs. I have walked into events. I have walked into churches with all slim women, beautiful baddie type of women, and nobody even batted an eye at them. I've been the girl who left the event and the only one who got a phone number. The only one who got approached, the only one who got asked, oh, do you want to drink? Do you want to dance? They can't handle it because they are thinking physical and they're thinking on a surface base, but they're not realizing that you're top tier, all right, top tier, you're top tier spiritual meat, okay? Most of them are just, but they are. They are. When I used to perform the poetry, I used to hang out with this Jezebel chick, and she was a pretty girl. She looked a little bit like Chili from TLC, but with a big booty. But she has like the same complexion, the same coolie hair. And I noticed that every man in there was trying to sleep with her. But I noticed that the men, they never try to come at me in a sexual tone. And we used to do erotic poetry. That's what was very interesting. So one day I was there by myself and I wasn't with her. And I asked one of the brothers, I said, come here, let me talk to you for a minute. I said, I'm not hating, but I want to know, how come all of y'all holler at her every week, but y'all never step to me or say nothing nasty to me? They was like, aren't you married? I said, no, I'm not married. They said, oh, all this time we've been performing together, we thought you was married. You move like a married woman. I said, wait, what? He said, let me sit down, sister. Let me talk to you. He said, listen, she seems like a easier pick. She'll be easier to bag, basically. you seem like you got walls up. So we thought you were married. We think you're beautiful too. It's just that how you approach her is not how us as a man would approach you. Like, we're thinking we want something quick, beautiful and quick. You're beautiful and long term. We really thought you was married. He said, matter of fact, most of us are married. I said, you're married? He says, yeah, we just don't wear a ring. So the men I was performing with was comedians and poets and rappers. Most of these men were married with kids, guys. They say, yeah, men can tell the difference. And I was like, wow, that put a lot into perspective, and one of them ended up hollering at me. We dated for a little bit. We didn't sleep together, but we actually went on a couple of dates and hung out and became very good friends. We didn't work out romantically, but I got treated like a goddess, like a queen. They would buy me drinks, look out for me. And it didn't matter how nasty I got on the mic, doing my erotic poetry, they still respected me as a goddess. I was like, yo, that's so crazy. So these Jezebel spirits, they're just here to be used, and even the narcissists that get married, those narcs be miserable in those marriages. You have to understand, anyone that is mistreating someone who's treating them well is a miserable person. They have these demons that are tormenting them their entire life. And that's why they want you to not be in peace, because they're being tormented. That's what that's about. But you said, hey, yes, man, yes, ma'am, chosen ones are all top tier. They can't take it. They can't take it. It is so sad. Listen, and let me tell you something. Most narcs die very miserable, guys. I've never met a narc that recovered. Never. I watched narcs on their deathbed. They didn't recover. They died like that. So when I see some people who are actually coming out and saying that they're narcissists, I'm like, oh, wow. Interesting. Okay. But yet they're still making money and still getting their attention. They're still getting their supply. There's some YouTubers who are narcissists, saying that they were diagnosed with narcissism. I do think there's also levels to it as well. I do think there's some people who are really deep, because I've had some narcissists who only projected onto me, but they didn't try to sabotage me. I've had some narcissists who really did try to kill me or ruin me. All right. So everyone's not as severe. Everyone is not out to try to kill you. Some narcissists are very it's almost like their spirit has attached to them, a very low vibrational, and kind of like ants, like you can kind of step on them, because I've hurt some narcs feelings before. Some narcs just need you to stroke their ego. They want to be told that they're fine. I was talking to a narcissistic dude, and he was actually more overt. But he wasn't trying to like sabotage me, so to say. He was just more about sex and more about attention. He just wanted his ego stroked, pretty much. But he didn't try to do anything really like severely to hurt me or sabotage me. He would try to triangulate me. He like said that some of my friends were after him, stuff like that, but I didn't feel like scared or like really in danger with him. And I confronted him and told him, don't fuck with me. I will ruin your life. I will expose everything about you on social media. And he said, okay. And he left me alone. It's been since 2020? That man ain't fuck with me. So some narcs are very weak. And if you stand up to them and you let them know, I know what you're doing, don't fuck with me, they won't. All right. A lot of them aren't as big and bad as you think they are, They're really not. Hold on a minute. Let me see what's going on. Oh my goodness. What time is it? Okay. don't forget to leave me donations, guys. I know some of y'all are new here, but I do not work for free. I don't talk online for free. My Cash App is in the chat, in the description bar. My Cash App is $777. My Zelle and PayPal is neoangie3000@yahoo.com. I will put it again in the chat. Do y'all have any questions about narcissism? You can put it down below. Oh my goodness. But the more you know about narcissism and their tactics, eventually you'll just be sitting there laughing at them. It's not like a scary thing anymore. Like, I'm not scared of narcissists anymore. Like, I kind of like to, sometimes I'll like leave one around to watch them as like a case study, you know? You say you wish God would stop making narcs. I don't believe God makes narcs. I believe people, humans, are making narcs. That's what I believe. So I believe that, I'm going to tell you my opinion on how I think narcissists are born or created. I believe that most narcs are demonically possessed, right? I look at it as more of a spiritual disorder and not like a mental disorder. And I think the government, in order to have their certain people get off in court by hurting people, killing people, they say, oh, they have a mental disorder. And that's also to cover a certain group of people, if you know what I mean, right? You ever notice that? They get off killing their parents and killing kids and doing all this crazy stuff, right? Let me watch what I'm saying on this video before they shut me down, right? So they're saying that it's a mental disorder when it really is a spiritual disorder. And this is why there is no cure for narcissism. So I think some people that narcissism, meaning if you have a child with a narcissist, it's very possible that your child can come out narcissistic. I think that's my belief. But narcissists are raised. They're created. They're not born. Most of them aren't born. And a lot of those narcissists have multiple spirits on them. Some people are sociopathic narcissists, psychopathic narcissists. There's all different levels to this. So some people are not battling with just narcissism, you know? And some people say, oh, we all have narcissistic traits. Narcissistic traits and narcissism, being a narcissist, is two different things. I think everyone has some level of narcissistic traits, but it doesn't mean you're a diagnosed narcissist. Okay, if you have traits, that means that you have the ability to change. Most narcissists can't even see that there's something wrong with them. A lot of them know that there's something wrong, and they know that they're doing these scams and all these things behind the scene, but they don't have the energy or the mind or the mental space or the emotional space to change. They don't have it in them, guys. They really don't. They're not gonna be able to change. So if you have narcissistic traits, you can change. That's the truth about that. But narcissists, I believe, are raised. One of your parents were a narcissist, or both your parents were narcissists. So they raised you with those behaviors, and that's how you become a narcissist, right? Or some narcissists, they had parents who didn't discipline them. They let them do whatever they wanted to do. You know, those cases where you see those kids who killed their parents? You gotta blame the parents because they never told them no. You gotta tell your children no. You have to discipline your children. You see your kids, screw you, mom. Yeah, you better pay my bills. I don't care what you're saying, like it is always this weird stuff with these kids. Like, what the hell? What is this comment? Oh, okay. I don't know why they hid your comment. You said they know something is wrong. Another monitor. I don't have a moderator. Okay, interesting. They know something is wrong and they don't give a shit. They feel too entitled. Yeah, I feel like narcissists are, how can I say this? They're comfortable with those demons. That's what I feel. I think they're comfortable with those demons. Thank you, Bree, for the $10. Thank you, girl. I appreciate you. I feel like they're comfortable. They've made an alliance. They've made a what is it? They've made a what is the word? Like a soul contract with, yes, that's what they made, like a soul contract with these demons. They're comfortable with it. They don't want to change. Ask a narc. I'm telling you, talk to them. Talk to them. They're comfortable. They don't want to change. In their mind, they hate their parent, or they hate somebody who abused them in their childhood. And now you have to pay for it. It is your fault that they're miserable. And this is why they seek out people who are spiritually of light, right? Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Hey, Abbas. They find people who are spiritually of light, who have that spiritual knowledge, and they try to destroy you because they wish to be like you. That's why they're doing it. When instead they could be going to therapy, getting some medicine, changing their ways. No, they're not going to do that. They see somebody they wish that they could have grown up to be just like, and to destroy that person. I'm going to abuse that person. What really kills me is when it's your parents or your grandparents that are doing it to you, and they know who you are, like the black sheep, the scapegoat of the family. They know how powerful you are from the beginning. They know who you are. They picked you for a reason. So if you're a black sheep, if you're a scapegoat, you were chosen because you are the strongest spiritually. And they know this from when you were a child. They know this from when you're a kid. They pick up on it. Even if you're weak at this moment and you don't know your power, they can feel that bubbling in you. They know that one day you will be the child that will go against them. You will be the child that's going to check them. That's why you're chosen to be the black sheep. That's why you're chosen to be the scapegoat of the family. That's why you end up being the chosen one, because you are the only one that would do it. And I'm going to tell y'all, if y'all have a golden child, and if you are a golden child, you better turn into the black sheep very fast, okay? I've been both to the step parent, the step narc, the stepfather narc. I was a golden child, right? And let me tell you, the day he realized I really wasn't the golden child and I was really the black sheep, he seemed like he was so betrayed. He could not believe it. All right. He thought all the time of him bigging up my character, giving me money, buying me things. He thought that was going to keep me in the golden child position. Oh, hell no. I exposed his ass about the molestation, him beating on my mother, cheating on my mother, who he truly was, and I discarded him first. He was so pissed. So if you are the golden child, you have to be willing to give up that money. I had to give up money. I had to give up particular status. his whole family turned their back on me besides one of his brothers, and you have to give that up. A lot of you are golden children. You're like, no. I get phone sessions sometimes by golden children. And that's the first thing that they talk about. Oh, they're paying my college tuition. They're paying my rent. If you got to be homeless to get rid of your toxic ass narc family, you have to do what you got to do. I had to give up all of that. All right. And my biological father's dead. My mother's dead. So trust me, there were days I did not eat. And it was worth giving up a molester. It was worth giving up a narcissist. I let go of my golden child position. And keep in mind, I wasn't even his birth daughter. He made his birth daughter the black sheep and made me the golden child because he thought I was the weak one. She ended up going into Stockholm syndrome and running to him. And she even named she had a son. She named one son his first name and the second son her maiden name. She went down bad. She went downhill bad, guys. Oh, she went from the black sheep to the golden child so quick. I'm telling you. And you can't trust the golden child. You can't. You cannot. And on my father's side, my biological father's side, my first cousin is the golden child to my narcissistic grandmother. And she screwed me over. She stole thousands of dollars from me, guys. You cannot trust the golden child. She did some illegal stuff with paperwork on my grandmother's property, and she stole $30,000 from me, guys. You cannot trust the golden child. You cannot trust them because a narcissist has groomed them. Groomed them. I'm telling you, the golden child is the one that when you escape, they'll be the one to call and say, oh, mom said come home. Grandma said come home. Dad said come home. They will put you back in an abusive situation. See, the golden child is abused too, right? But they're getting compensation for the abuse. So it looks different. You are just getting abused. You're getting abused. You're getting your name dragged in the mud. You're getting smear campaigned. You're getting gang stalked. And you're not even getting anything for it. The golden child is good. Okay? My grandmother paid this girl's college tuition, rent, gave her a co-op to live in, bought her a car, gave her money for daycare for her children, everything. And when she died, left her thousands of dollars. Left me basically like a quarter and left her thousands of dollars. They get compensated. Okay? And that's why you cannot trust the golden child. I hope I still want a relationship with my siblings. You can't trust them. I'm letting you know that now. The golden child will kill you if they had to. If the narc parent told them to go and kill you, they would. They would. To keep their crown, to keep their name up there, to keep that money, that bag running, the golden child will kill you. All right? He said when they start to be good, it feels so uncomfortable that they have to go back to being, yeah. See, I'm going to tell you about that too. I don't got that much juice on my phone. I have heard so many of them say I tried or blaming others for them being vindictive again. Okay, so that also can show you that they're demonic, right? So a lot of y'all fall for that. Like I fell for it too. So you know how like you get into an argument with the narc or the narc did something to you and then like y'all stop talking for a couple of days, couple of weeks, couple of months, and then they come back and then they fall into this pattern of the love bombing from before. Keep in mind, this is abuse. So your brain pattern is fucked up because of this. This is really has altered your brain pattern, right? So you're like, oh, thank God we're good. No, you're not. No, you're not. It's all the false imagery, the false mask. Trust and believe before you can count to four, 4, 3, 2, 1, boom, there goes the demon again. The demon never left. They're in a certain program. They'll stay fake for a little bit of time, but they're still the demon. But it's a game they're playing just to get you back. And then once they feel comfortable enough that you're there for good, then that's when they can go, oh, I'm gonna take my mask off now, back to being evil so I can feel comfortable. That's all. It's a game. And this goes on and on and on. Guys, don't fall for it. Narcissists do not change. I want you to know that they die like this. They don't change. And you so badly want them to go back to that love bombing phase. You're not realizing that was not real. That's not a real person. They're not a real person. They're not real. Sometimes I even think back and be like, did they really even exist? Technically, no. It's not a real marriage. It's not a real relationship. And it's sad because literally you had children by a demon. And if your kids came out half decent and you have a child by a narcissist, you are highly favored and blessed that your child made it in this realm and didn't turn out like that. That's how scary it is. It's so freaking scary, guys. It is so freaking scary. Oops. It is so scary. But it's a mask that you fall for. But please watch out for those covert narcs. They're the charmers. They're the nerdy. They're the quiet ones that you just never see. You never see them coming, really. They're more, a lot of times, you never really see them coming. Oh, this candle I'm burning is so strong. Let me see if I can get this to go out. Nope, can't. You got to be very, very careful with them. Be very, very careful. Do y'all have any more questions about narcissism before I get off? You said it's scary for sure. It is scary. But you know what? It's only scary. Well, let me not say that, because there are some narcs who are violent, right? There are some narcs who are violent. And I have been in situation with some narcissists where they say, well, if you leave me, I'm going to unalive myself. And you know what I had to do? I used to stay around that person because I really thought that they were going to do that. And eventually one day when I became strong enough, I told them, go ahead and do it. I know it hurts for you to say that. And if they were to really do it, I haven't met a narc yet that unalived themselves. They really would try to convince you to unalive yourself. Oh, that's another thing. I have a video on my channel about that. You have to go back maybe a couple of years. I did a video about that, guys. You know, one of the narcs, one of their biggest accomplishments is to get you to unalive yourself, to take your own life. My own, the stepfather tried to convince me to unalive myself, the stepfather narc. And he convinced, he had his daughter's wife, because I had a stepsister I grew up with, she unalived herself. He was in the bed with my mom, their divorce wasn't even final yet. And he moved on with my mother, and even was taking, his daughter over to my mother's apartment, and staying with us and stuff like that. And she unalived herself. So the narc will convince you to unalive yourself. They will push you so far And her mom already had like some, I think she was bipolar, so she already had her own mental issues. And then to be in a relationship with a narcissist, and he used to beat on her. I heard he threw her through a glass table once. It's very sad. So imagine you're already bipolar, you already have your own mental issues, and then you end up with a narcissist, and then he abuses you physically, emotionally, and then he moves on with another woman like you never existed, and taking your child over to that other woman's house and telling you, I'm done with you. She took her own life. Beautiful woman. Very sad. Very sad that that happened to that lady, you know? And when my mother had cancer, they were already years old at the time. My mom ended up passing away when I was 23. He said to me one day, this is how evil narcs are. He said, you ever thought about, unaliving yourself? Just like came out of nowhere. We were on the phone. I said, no, I'm not, I'm not the S word, and he said, oh, because man, if I was you, I would have been off to myself. I don't know how you do it. Like, I would have been unalived myself if I was you. If I had your life, if I was going through all that you're going through, I would have been unalived myself. And I'm sitting on the phone like, this is supposed to be my stepfather who raised me. Is this motherfucker telling me to unalive me? Unalive myself? Huh? I was so confused. I was just like, what? And keep in mind, at the time, I had blocked out my molestation, so I didn't remember this man did this to me, just for context, okay? So I didn't realize, and I didn't remember a lot of the abuse that he had did when I was a child, because I have one of those brains that represses information or trauma, right? So it wasn't until later on in my 20s where I remembered all the abuse, the molestation, and all that. But at this time, when I still was carrying on a relationship with this person as my father, he was trying to convince me to unalive myself. Ugh, guys, these people are wicked, evil. And you might not think that that's what they're doing, because they're like strategically and subliminally saying things. A lot of times narcs don't come straight out and say certain things. They'll say certain things to trigger something in your brain. And before you know it, you're like, oh man, maybe I should do that. And you're not understanding that that energy came from them. That information came from them. I'm telling you, they put all kind of things in your head. And then when you feel close to them, you take their words strongly. You know how they feel, or the things that they're saying to you, is like you care about it. You believe it. He said they just threaten to unalive themselves, exactly, to control. It's a control tactic. So I had this narc best friend, and he was a covert narc, and he's like, oh, I'm gonna unalive myself. And one day I said to him, okay, do it. What did you say? I said, okay, if that's what you want to do, think that's best for you, do it. Blown away. I can't believe I said, you said you want to unalive yourself, so I will support that. I'm telling you, when you're talking to these narcs, now I ain't gonna say do that in person. We were on the phone, because some of these narcs will swing on you. Some of these narcs will try to unalive you, but they go off on your reaction. Don't give them the same reaction, and that's when they lose interest in you. Whenever I stop reacting, it doesn't matter if it hurt me or not, what they were doing and said. Once you stop giving these narcs a reaction, that's when they know you're not good supply anymore. And they will leave you, okay? They will leave you. You leave a narcissistic injury to them, because they're like, damn, I lost this supply. I can't trick them anymore. But they know, they be ready. And people always be, they didn't call you? They didn't try to contact you? I mean, y'all was friends for like 10 years. No, they're not going to contact you because they know it's over. They know that you're not good supply anymore. You have to understand. You ever like see those stories where people kill their abusers? Everyone has a limit. So once you reach that limit, they're like, okay, this is used up. You know, I had a client ask me like, oh, how could he just move on? How could he just move on like that after dating me for years and he moved on to like my friend? And I'm like, that's easy. You're used up supply now, baby. You're used up. You know his ways, you know his tactic. You gotta understand also narcissists, they get bored. So if you actually kept a narc, you were caring and you were able to take abuse very well. If you had a narc in your life for that long. If a narc leaves you like that, you get ghosted by a narc, you're not good supply anymore because you ain't no bitch, you ain't no sucker. So narc, maybe like in 2 weeks or a month, they're gone. They ghost me. I'm not good supply anymore because I ain't going for it. All right, my phone's about to die, so I'm gonna get off. You said I literally didn't hear her. Wait, I have to go back. Okay, let me see if I can see. Is dying. My friend is a narcissist and she caused a whole scene on a group call because she said she was talking to me and that I was ignoring her because I said hi to our male friend. Okay, yeah, she's weird. It's off mid combo. Yeah, because she wants all the attention on her. Don't you hear me talking? And that's when she said, I was like, all of that. Wow. I asked everyone later and they didn't even hear her talking about anything before he joined the call. Definitely nothing important enough. Man, what's she gonna do? You gonna cut her off? Because if you're gonna keep having situations like that with her, you know, how you can discard them. You can really give her a narcissistic injury and embarrass her in front of a group of people. But she won't be your friend for long, I'm telling you. Okay, my phone's on 5%. I really would love to sit around and talk more, but I hope you will go back, watch the beginning of the video because I did drop a couple of gems. Thank you so much, top tier. Thank you for the You said, yes, I will have to cut her off in the past for like oh, okay. I have cut her off. Okay, good. Because it ain't even worth it. And don't be like me. It's almost like I wait for like strike two before I cut somebody off. And don't do that, you know, because a lot of us, we're so used to the narcissistic injury and we know we're spiritually stronger than these people that we keep taking the jabs and the projection and the disrespect. But nah, you know, I say nobody's perfect, but if you know this person's a narc, just know that the abuse is going to continue. If you feel that person's not a narc, then you'll be able to have a decent adult conversation with them and tell them what they did and how they made you feel. And then watch and see in 90 days where they change their behavior. But with a narc, they're never going to change. You just have to discard them. And it's better for you to discard that narc. Don't wait around waiting for the narc to discard you. Actually, I kind of like it when narcs discard me, you know, because sometimes the narc can become obsessed with you when you discard them. So I like to be discarded by narcissists. I like the narcissist to disappear on me. But how you can tire them out is that you put up boundaries, let them slip and disrespect you. Keep being a headache for them. Don't give in to giving them supply that they want from you. Don't give reactions, and that's how you tire the narcissist out. Show that you're not going for that shit. Show them that you're not going to take their disrespect. You're not going to take their tactics. Keep exposing them to themselves. Hey, when you said this, and that, and don't argue with them. Like, look, I'm not going to argue with you. You did this, and this is what it is. That's going to tire them out. because they're going to keep bumping heads with you. They want easy supply. So be hard on them, and that's how they'll discard you. And that's how I always get discarded. I just love it when narcs disappear on me, but sometimes they'll try to come back because they want to finish you off, and don't let your ego win and be like, oh, okay. Since they were a child, they were like this, and they're gonna die like that. It's very sad. Maybe they'll come back in another lifetime in a soul contract, a different soul contract, and be a better person in the next life, but that ain't got nothing to do with you. You do not have to sit around. They were like, stupid empath, stupid chosen one. I'm never gonna change. Actually, I'm about to beef up the abuse. He said, that's true. You have a great point. Thanks. I will have to tire her out. Yes, she's starting to feel it, so it will be soon. It's good when the narc discards you. Exactly. It's easier. But thank you for chatting with me, guys. Whoever was in the chat, I appreciate it. And I'm sure y'all will enjoy the playback. Have an amazing week. Happy full moon. Full moons is to release, right? And new moons is to manifest. So whatever you need to release, if you got to release a narc, this is the perfect time. Light your candle, do your prayers, take your spiritual baths, do your prayers, whatever you believe in, and release these demons from your life. Release habits, and also ask God, universe, to give you strength to release. And it's okay to miss a narc, all right? That is the truth. I've missed narcs before. When I had to let go of my narcissistic best friend in 2016, I actually went through like physical chills. Like it was like I was on crack or something, because I was so used to having my life entwined with him for 8 years. He became my everything. So just because you miss a narc does not mean you should take them back into your life, okay? So missing people and missing bad people doesn't make you stupid. It's natural. All right. It's natural to miss these damn narcs because you literally were chemically addicted to them too. You were addicted to the abuse. You were addicted to the back and forth. You were used to the abuse. Okay. So have an amazing week, and maybe I'll come back on live next week. Okay. Talk to you soon. Thank you. You too. Top tier. Appreciate you. Oh, yes. Also, you can follow me. You can join my Patreon, where I have longer videos about different topics, not about narcissism only or about chosen ones. My Patreon is at Metaphysical Goddess. You can follow me on TikTok at Metaphysical Goddess, the number 7. And yeah, don't forget to donate, everybody. All right. Talk to you soon.